to yet another video. This video will be covering a problem from your chapter 14 homework. That problem is E1429. The learning objective of E1429 is to use the debt to equity ratio to evaluate the business performance. So the main purpose of this problem is to find the debt to equity ratio. As you see here in this problem, you have Ludwig Corporation and the various figures related to the total current liabilities, total current assets, long-term liabilities. You will not be given these total stockholders' equity, but since we have the formula for the stockholders' equity, right, that should help you figure that out. Also have the figures for other assets and property, plant, and equipment net. So, to start this off, the relationship between total liabilities and total equity, called the debt to equity ratio, shows the proportion of total liabilities relative to the stockholders' equity. So all that means is it compares the total liabilities and how much larger it is to the stockholders' equity. Thus, the ratio measures financial leverage. If the debt to equity ratio is greater than 1, then the company is financing more assets with debt than with equity. If the ratio is less than 1, then the company is financing more assets with equity than with debt. The higher the debt to equity ratio, the greater the company's financial risk. Before we calculate the debt to equity ratio, I need to complete the balance sheet below. So if you do this problem, you need to have your own balance sheet. Since that's not provided here, you just have to fill in the debt to equity ratio on the left for your answer. I will be putting in the amounts given, and we can figure out the remaining amount. So as you see here, current assets is $58,200. Other assets is also given, $36,800. Property, plant, and equipment net is $206,440. They don't give you the total assets, but total assets would be the sum of current assets, 36,000, the other assets, and the property, plant, and equipment net. The sum of 58,200, 36,800, and 206,440 gives me a total asset of $301,440. They also give you the total current liabilities, which is 36,210, and the long-term liabilities, which is 139,630. That gives me a total liability of 175,840. I found that by adding and finding the sum of my current and long-term liabilities. Your stockholders' equity is not given, but we should know that the total liabilities in stockholders' equity is equal to the total assets. Therefore, to find the stockholders' equity, which is not given, we take the total assets, 301,400, subtract that by the total liabilities, which is 175,840, to find our stockholders' equity of 125,600. As you see here, the total assets and total liabilities of stockholders' equity matches up at the value of 301,440. Remember that the debt to equity ratio shows the proportion of total liabilities relative to the stockholders' equity. I will use the amounts computed above to calculate the corporation's debt to equity ratio. So the debt to equity ratio, which we already know, is total liabilities divided by the total stockholders' equity. We're given those values. Total liabilities is 175,840. And the total stockholder equity is 125,600. That gives me a total debt to equity ratio of 1.4. Hopefully it loads up. All right, so that's the correct answer. Let's just go back. Ready? Remember, the debt to equity ratio is greater than 1. If the debt to equity ratio is greater than 1, then the company is financing more assets with debt than with equity. So that's your conclusion there, with a debt to equity ratio of 1.4. Thank you for watching the video. Let me know if you have any other questions related to this homework assignment or other homework problems. And thank you for watching.